It's that time of year, folks. The NHL trade deadline has come and gone. And we're here to break it all down for you. I'm Harrison Soep.
And I'm Rachel Geddes.
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone. We have a lot to get into, so without further ado, let's get right into it.
Starting off with the Boston Bruins, they were highly active in the trade market, making several key moves. The New Jersey Devils picked up forward Mark McLaughlin from the Boston in return from forward Danny Meslew. Meanwhile, the Bruins bolstered their blue line by acquiring defenseman Henry Kukiharu from the Buffalo Sabres for a fourth-round pick in the 2026 draft. Overall, they improved their blue line with Kukiharu for a reasonable price, but they swap with the New Jersey is more of a neutral move. Out of all the three teams, I believe the Bruins may have come out on top of these trades.
In a major deal, the Colorado Avalanche landed forward Charlie Coyle, along with a fifth-round draft pick in 2026, sending forwards Casey Middlestat and William Zellers, plus a second-round draft pick in 2025 draft to Boston. And speaking of Colorado Avalanche, they picked up Brock Nelson from the New York Islanders for defenseman prospect Kelson Ritchie and a couple of draft picks. And look, Nelson was easily the best center available in the trade deadline. And let's talk about another move, the Minnesota Wild. They traded forwards Marat Kushnetsov and Jacob Larko, along with a sixth-round draft pick in 2026, to acquire forward Justin Brazeau from the Bruins.
Three-team trade between the Bruins, Oilers, and Devils saw Edmonton acquire Trent Frederick, Max Jones, and Peter Hesley, while Boston received defenseman Max Warner, a second-round pick in 2025, a fourth-round pick in 2026, with New Jersey adding forward Shane LeChance to their roster. In this three-team trade, Edmonton came out on top, but it's a fair trade, but depends on what each team prioritizes. If Boston hits their draft picks, they could be the long-term winner.
The Toronto Maple Leafs acquired defenseman Brandon Carlo from the Bruins in exchange for forward Frazier Minden and a conditional first-round pick in the 2026 NHL draft and a fourth-round pick in the 2025 draft.
The captain Brad Marchand was acquired by the Florida Panthers for a conditional second-round pick in the 2027 NHL draft. To be honest, I don't think this trade is anything to write home about. Brad Marchand spent his whole career, 16 years in Boston. In the front office, they could only get a conditional single draft pick. Well, with all that said, Harrison, the Bruins are now without a captain. Who do you think is going to be the captain next season?
Look, I think that's a reasonable question to ask. And, not having a captain for the rest of the season is fine. I mean, more than likely it's going to be David Pastrnak. If they give it to McAvoy, I would not complain either. It does suck losing a guy like Marchand, but then I'm reminded of last summer's surgeries that we had talked about.
For me, I would honestly choose to put Charlie McAvoy as a team captain. He's captain material, in my opinion. He shows awesome leadership, both on and off the ice. His skill and grit embody the Bruins' identity, demonstrate unwavering support for the teammates, and a passion that motivates others. But if it's true that Marchand will re-sign with the Bruins in the offseason, he'll be captain once again with the Bruins. And that might honestly be what the Bruins are waiting for. They might be waiting to see if he does actually re-sign with the Boston Bruins.
And I think that's true, but we'll see how that goes. And the final deadline move we must talk about that completely has nothing to do with the Bruins, and I'm going to be talking about the Dallas Stars. They acquired forward Mikko Rantanen from the Carolina Hurricanes, then signed him to an 8-year contract extension, which is pretty crazy, in exchange for forward Logan Stankoven, as well as 4 draft picks. Now, I said it last year, and I will say it again. The Dallas Stars are making a strong push for that Stanley Cup. And it would not shock me if they win it all this season with the young core of guys they have on their roster. Well, a lot of questions as to what the Bruins are doing remains to be seen. We got a little bit left in the season, so it's going to be interesting in terms of league-wide as well. And we are on our way to the playoffs. And with that being said, that's going to wrap up Neutral Zone. We will be back predicting the playoffs. And by that point, hopefully, Alex Ovechkin will break the record for the all-time goals. Until then, take care, guys.